Well, hello there, my Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your soulmate love reading for December-ish 2019, but timeless. Whenever you watch it is when you watch it. So I'm even putting timeless in the title so people know, right? That we're all in different places at different times in different aspects of different quantum threads. And isn't that what I'm good at, right? I'm good at reading a quantum thread. So I had to take a couple of days off, but it was a busy couple of days off. I actually renamed and rebooted my Facebook group. It was called Words of Grace by Mark A. Lyons. Now it's called Mark Angelo Lyons, Mel for short. The link is in the description box, probably nearish the top. If you would like to join, please do subscribe if you're on Facebook. It's just we do different things in that group than I can do here on YouTube. You're with me? You feeling me? Good, good, good. And it's a lot of fun. We're all cool people. And we've been doing it for a year. I started it last year at Yule, so it has grown and it has evolved. Cool, cool. And many people are both following me there and here. So check that out. So got that off the ground. Did some pretty big, deep healing with that 12-12 full moon dealio. You know, I'm a witch, but I'm a mystic first. It's like I got to make sure my spiritual practice is in alignment to take advantage of whatever portals, windows, opportunities, the daily spiritual practice of it all, so that I can give you all my best and really give the world my best. Because I am a Pisces moon. My Pisces, if you're new to the channel, by the way, my name is Mark Angelo Lyons, Mel for short, hence the Facebook group. President of Join the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, Pisces moon mystic, and very, very glad to be doing this. Had to take a couple of days off to kind of process through some stuff, but here I am and ready to rock and roll. So just a little clarification before we get into the reading itself. This is a general read. Yes, it is a soulmate read for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. But like anytime I do a zodiacal read, I always do at least Sun, Moon, Rising. For anything relational, particularly soulmates, twin flames, path of true love, I add Venus. So please check your other signs. If it doesn't click, it doesn't click. I fine-tuned the readings this time that they be romantic, right? Because usually the soulmate readings that I do, part 2 here, second article to address, a soulmate is a contract. Soulmate, twin flame, two very different types of soul contracts, pre-incarnational agreements you make before coming in. Soulmates are satisfying, but that we have friends that are soulmates, family members that are soulmates, and I love doing those readings where you get to identify the different people who you have soulmate contracts with, the bottom line of the contract being that you help each other heal. Where a twin flame, those contracts teach you how to heal yourself, how to love yourself. They're transformative, they're hot, they're fiery, but they're just not as soft and symbiotic and satisfying and sensual as a soulmate. It's a lot of a lot of S alliteration, which is right up my alley if you've been following me for any amount of time on any social platform for the past couple of decades. So that being said, we're going to look at the romantic sexual soulmate that I know so many people are looking for. Me too. I don't know that I'm looking for it. It's just I've been cultivated for it. And if you've been walking the path of true love, if you've been healing yourself, if you've been balancing your own energies, learning from every relationship, not just the romantic sexual, then by all means, there's no reason why we're not allowed to want a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, sexual, intimate, romantic relationship, partnership, right? In whatever way, shape, or form that is, that's honorable in alignment with, you know, the highest wisdom of our soul and our highest virtue that we're aware of, right? That's what's going to transform the world. So that's what these readings are about. So that being said, the only other thing I'm going to tell you to do is do check out the description box below. All the cards that I read are in there. We're only using 5 decks, but I think you'll like how I'm using them. We're going to do 2 element spreads, fire, earth, air, water, spirit. We are going to be doing divine feminine, divine masculine, but again, never about bodily gender. only about so that you can identify which one you are, because only you know what you predominantly identify with. And honestly, in a soulmate contract, you might have information on both sides of the table. Just saying, right? You may relate to both. And that's another way to look at these readings, is to kind of see them as the balancing masculine, feminine within your own soul. Right? So take it as it comes. Don't overthink it. Feel it, particularly like I need to say that to a Pisces collective. Just go with the soul. It'll tell you, right? What resonates, what doesn't. Please remember to breathe. I've been saying that for every single reading because it's just so important to remember to breathe consciously, because I'm doing my best to be conscious of my breath while I do this. So I slow down, so I don't care how long these readings are anymore. I was trying to time it, it was no good for me. To just breathe through and let the information come through and do what I was born to do. Shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. As we go into the Caroline Myss archetype cards, we're just going to take two. The first one, please, for the Divine Feminine in this Piscean collective. Here we go. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, please, in this Romantic Soulmate contract for December-ish 2019, but timeless. One for the Divine Feminine. Ooh, the monk nun. We'll get to her. That's great. No, that's about devotion. That's not necessarily about celibacy, because I'm pretty sure all sorts of shit goes down behind monastery walls that we will never hear tell of. Let's get one. Past life flashback. I'm sure I wasn't the only one. I felt some of you flashback right along with me. Welcome to non-linearism. Deep breath. We are off to a start with these reads. So glad we started with Pisces this time. My collective pantheons of angels. Breathe, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card to represent the divine masculine in this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Romantic sexual soulmate contract for December-ish 2019, yet timeless. Oh, well, we've got the orphan child. What better could we want than one of the child archetypes? Don't freak yourself out. Everybody's got the child archetype one way or another, because we were all children. Nobody was born in their 40s, right? And it's one of the 4 survival archetypes. Even countries, nations, corporations have a child, a victim, a saboteur, and a prostitute archetype. And remember, Superman was an orphan, as was Bruce Wayne. Oh, Clark. I hope you're watching Crisis on Infinite Earths. I am. Can't get enough. Can't wait for January. Okay, so these are going to be the 2 core cards. Again, we're the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, that we're going to build things around. But let me read you what's written on both of these cards. Now, as I always have to say, the way Caroline Myss designed these cards, and I adore them. I've had them for decades. It's good to use them as a divination system, because I've been using them for personal work for a very long time. There is the shadow attribute and the light, which means it's neutral, right? Lead and gold. It's about where you are, either as masculine or feminine in this, in terms of your own process of alchemy, that you're going to help each other heal this shit. The shadow attribute of the monk/nun, depending on how you want to identify. Negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. Now, you might not take that to heart as a 100% thing that you do, but when you're watching the news, what's rising up in you if you're the Divine Feminine, right? Are you just like, this world has just gone to hell in a handbasket, right? Negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. Now, piety, interestingly enough, is one of the 7 holy graces. It's the grace of the 2nd chakra. Go read my book, Words of Grace, for Professional Witch, or go to St. Teresa of Avila, or go to Caroline Myss's book, Defying Gravity and Entering the Kessel. Such a spiritual teacher. But piety is really about honoring one another. It's about saying whatever this experience is, whether it's piety of money, right? Piety of sexuality, that it need not necessarily mean celibacy, but an excess of piety, it's in that shadow side of it. It's the reason why we don't like the word pious. When someone's being pious, it's better than. And it's a bit sterile and a bit dry. and I just get flashes of Whoopi Goldberg in her original HBO special stand-up thing that she did about the nun. What do you know, penguin, right? I had fun. What do you know, penguin? It just cracks me up to this day. So it's like that excessive piety that's like, I don't want to go near that, right? So that might be something to really look at, because the light side, is so beautiful. Look, I'm really not a monk or a nun in this life, but I can appreciate the light in this because I know I've been both a monk and a nun in other lives. Selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Chalk me up. I'm such a fucking mystic, though the mystic is a totally different archetype. So think of that selfless devotion, like that's something a divine feminine might be able to alchemize into and feel and identify with. That selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. To spirit, that might be a new way of looking at this, because maybe you've been that sort of devoted to this divine child. Now look, I set out when I did this reading that these are romantic ones, right? Because not just... Is that what the market wants? Yes, obviously, particularly this time of year, right? I always read people privately whatever comes up, but for doing these readings, I do have to set certain, it's like you're going to pick a lane and stay in it for a series. These are romantic, so understand that the child archetype, I know it's a tricky conversation if you take it literally, but think of the innocence of someone's heart being that child and what that innocence has been through in terms of romantic, sexual, intimate relationships, regardless of age, right? Like how many times, like we're not dealing with the eternal, the eternal child. That's like Peter Pan, right? That little boy inside that keeps running away, right? It's like, fuck, how many of those are there on the planet and always have been? Learning to alchemize that. Here we have the orphan child, the one that's always left out. And I'm telling you, all of our great heroes and heroines, I guess if you want to balance the gender on that, are orphans. I mean, Dorothy Gale, orphan. Harry Potter, orphan. Kal-El of Krypton, orphan. Bruce Wayne, orphan. Peter Parker, orphan. It could go on and on and on and on and on and on, right? So with this sort of devotion, with this particular archetype, I have the orphan archetype, even though I was not literally orphaned. That's another thing that people will just bypass because they don't like the word orphan. But it doesn't necessarily mean at all that you were literally orphaned by your parents. So let's do the lead and the gold, the shadow and the light on this one. You'll get what I'm talking about. The shadow attribute. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate family. So think of that, right? Like we all experience abandonment and neglect in our lives pretty much, but if it doesn't get processed, right? It's like feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. It's like soul retrieval. It's like a piece of the soul gets stuck in that moment and we hemorrhage energy backwards, right? In time to that moment. So we're always running at a little bit of a deficit. Seeking inappropriate families, and boy did I ever. God, do I have some fun stories to tell about those though. Oh, my college days at the Boston Conservatory of Music, Dance and Theatre, darling. We were called the Heinous Clique. Nothing like a good vocabulary list in speech class. So like I get this orphan, this child, but in the divine masculine, that makes sense too. It's like may feel like an outsider, like he doesn't fit in. Let's look at the light attribute. Independence, based on learning to go it alone. Conquering fear of surviving. The child archetype, regardless of the sub-archetype. Magical child, orphan child, nature child, wounded child, right? There are just so many sub-patterns within it. It's all about, because it's survival family of archetypes, about how it learns how to survive, and we all have to do this. This is why we all have at least one child archetype within us. For many of us, we have all of them. But the guardian, the child is the guardian of innocence and new beginning, right? So it's the innocence of our hearts, and it takes that innocence to trust and be vulnerable. Really hard for the orphan archetype, but out of fear of abandonment. So the orphan could play either a chaser or run away, right? Until it learns to become the walker, right? The Karen walker, I wish. I'm such a Gen Xer. Okay, we've got these down. These are kind of really exciting in a way, and I am a Pisces moon, so I'm kind of jamming on this. I have a feeling this one might be longer than some of the others. It's also the first time doing this spread in this way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to Daughters of the Moon this. We're going to fire, earth, air, water, spirit for the divine feminine, right? So I'll explain it as I go. Here we go. Nice deep breath. Oh my goddesses, please. One card in clarity for this divine feminine, Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What's her element of fire? What does she want? I'm doing them face down. What is her element of earth? What she needs to get her what she wants? What is her element of air? What she thinks. This is all about this soulmate, romantic soulmate relationship. What's she thinking? Her element of air. What is her element of water? Nice and deep, nice and clear. What is she feeling? We got her there. And her spirit, the overview. What is the voice of her spirit? What is her spirit in this soulmate contract, romantic, dealy, yo. Ready? Breathe. Element of fire, what she wants. The Virgo card. So what she wants is something that will be worth her while in terms of her occupation and her healing. In other words, that it's going to occupy her time. It's 6th house. That it be something healing. That it be something organic. That it serve. Now, serve who? Serve what? Being a Virgo, by the way, opposite sign of Pisces, but it's a relationship of Piscean water, mutable water, to Virgin, Virgo, earth, mutable earth. So it is about change and flow and healing, and that it be healthy and stable, but also, I want to say the word mutative, but mutable, that it will grow and change in that way. Lovely. What's the earth? Interesting, this is the element of fire, what she wants. What's the earth? That the wick and wax that feed the flame of the candle. We've got the witch card. So she's got her wisdom, she's got her alignment, she's got her plan, she's willing to be that channel of the divine, right? To be the divine feminine, right? Like the lightning rod. That's the thing that people don't get about the card of the magician. Yes, of course, it's outward directed yang in terms of the magician manifesting, but first it's being the, or is it this way? It depends on which way the camera is, right? Like, well, in her, it's this way up, right? Can't see the card though. Being the lightning rod, the channel through which the divine comes. So very feminine principle at first, but then moving right into the masculine in terms of anchoring that vibration. And if you're the divine feminine here, get in touch with what it would feel like if this has not hit yet, if this has not manifested in your life, or if it has and you really do want to move it into healing. Really visualize it to the point where you feel like, oh my God, it would feel like, and then as you practice those feelings, remember it's air, fire, water, then earth. Really get the emotions. You don't have to feel it all the time, but that's called indirect manifestation. Just keep asking the universe, the gods, the angels, to give you more and more and more of opportunities to feel that way. And they will. And it builds, and it's gradual and part of the divine plan. What's she thinking? What's she thinking? 10 of Pentacles. You want the real deal. Like, you're thinking like that's the air that feeds the fire. Both earth signs here, both earth cards. You're like, yeah, something stable, something sure, something sensual, something abundant, something fulfilling. Like, even those words, like, begin to feel the emotions behind those words. Invoke the emotions. It's not like you have to do affirmations all day long, and if you're having a bad day that you've just pissed all over your manifestation, enough of that. Enough of that. That was never, ever, 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 ever true. But allow life to bring to you more opportunities to feel that way regardless of the form. And feel gratitude for that emotion when it comes. And it does. It just aligns you with the frequency of what you want. And, by the way, can get you laid really quickly, too. In other words, it doesn't always have to be forevermore. But then again, I am an ethical slut. I won't be forever. I am again. I wasn't for a while, but I'm back. Because I've been saying this for decades. When I am monogamous, I am very monogamous. And when I am not monogamous, I am very not monogamous. So when I think for a pagan, I'm allowed that, right? A self-employed one, which means my schedule is my own. What you feeling, my divine feminine? Yes, I'm so glad to be a Pisces moon. Victory. Galloping victory. That you, coming in right, hot and piping from spirit, you have every right to want everything that you want just for the feeling of wanting it alone. And whether you get it or not does not rob you or detract in any way from your right to want everything and anything that you want. Just the desire itself, the element of fire, that you can feel it deeply in your water, so to speak, in your emotions, that is a gift and a pleasure that really all of us have, but that it gives you momentum and motion. So yes, absolutely, divine feminine, gallop in your emotions toward this, but let go of the fucking outcome. It doesn't matter how it shows up just yet. You will know when it does. This is the journey there. Spirit, what does your spirit say? Two of Flames, Mahuea, volcano goddess. A lot of okay. You know what I mean? Two of Flames, Two of Wands. Some people would say indecision. I get that, although indecision tends to be more up here. This is like, well, do I want to do this or do I want to do this? Because with galloping emotions like that, it's like left foot, right foot. It's a lot of vibes. So let's add this to it. For this Piscean collective, divine feminine, whatever's going on here, that we can feel, that when we feel this power, this vibration, we also can relax. That how do we know we're in alignment? Because how relaxed we are, we can still feel the galloping, but breathe. That's how you anchor a vibration into physical form. Both feet on the floor helps too. Maybe not so much coffee. But for me, it's a sacrament. Really lovely. Let's do the same for the divine masculine with what? The Mythic Tarot. I know, a little bit more classic for you. A little bit more old school. I mean, not completely based off the Rider-Waite, but close enough. Mythic Tarot with my gods and goddesses in here. Let's check this divine orphan archetype, this divine masculine orphan child. Breathe. This should be fun. Oh my gods, please. Elements spread. Fire, earth, air, water, spirit for this divine masculine. In this Piscean collective sun, moon, rising Venus sign, romantic, soulmate, lover, spread contract. Please, what is his element of fire? What does he want? What is his element of earth to help him get what he wants? What is his element of air? What does he think about what he wants? What is his element of water? Woo! What does he feel about what he wants? Ding, 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 ding. What was that? Ooh, my second chakra went wobble, 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 wobble. Ooh, I felt good. And please, his spirit. What is his overview? What is the voice of spirit here? Now, no reversals. I'm not doing that. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Let's have a look at the divine masculine. Now, keep in mind, orphan child, right? Either really, really empowered, really, really hurting, somewhere in between, right? What does he want? Well, Six of Cups, he's got those memories of the warmth. Now, whether it's with this monk, nun, or not, I don't know, but definitely what they want is what they've had before. That wistful. Six of Cups for me, though, I know we call it nostalgia, and I get that. It's also a 6. It's about emotional balance. It's a time when things were balanced, right? Where coming right out of the 5, that makes sense too. 5s are numbers of change, usually chaotic and unexpected. So that emotional balance of it, right? I mean, we also have the 6 of Blades, which is, I think, very much a therapeutic card, right? The gondola, going from troubled water to peaceful. So the 6s are all about harmony and balance that way. But what they want, there's some wistfulness here, right? Because might have felt, might be feeling abandoned here, might be feel not necessarily by this one, like might be their pattern, what they're dealing with in this life, the divine masculines. Remember, we're not talking bodily gender here, right? We're talking about energetic dynamic. And I really would say divine yin and divine yang if that just wouldn't take so much more explanation. Well, what this kid's got, this divine masculine, the star, he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes, high apple pie in the sky hopes, which to me this card is also about guidance. What is the point of hope without guidance, right? Well, I mean, we can hope for things that will probably never happen. I agree, right? It's like we can hope for things that are just not just outside of the probable, outside of the possible. As much as I would love to, I really can't have angel wings manifest out my back. I mean, first of all, avian DNA. Do you know what I mean? Like, where is that going to... Now, manifestations of the light body, sure, whatever. But I am an angel. I'm Angelo Lyons, right? I feel them. Know that I can whack people with them. They don't know. They can't feel it, right? Not necessarily within the realm of physical probability, so I can hope for that as much as I want. This is about following the divine plan, that the hope that somehow all of this is worth it and leading to the manifestation of my heart's desire, right? Because what else? What else are they really wanting? That warmth, that tenderness, that happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, stable, loving, intimate, warm, sexual, romantic relationship. What is he thinking about it? Well, I don't know, but he's thinking a lot about it. Four of Swords. Introspection, meditation, contemplation, and focus. To what end? If this were a private reading, I would absolutely go in, but I think we can acknowledge that the divine masculine tend to be more element of fire and air. So that contemplation, he's got air in air. That's a good thing. And what I love about this deck is that they're all converging on a central point, right? So there's perhaps some mindfulness meditation might be helpful if you are the divine masculine, but if you're the divine feminine, don't bother telling them what to do. They're not going to listen. They have to find their own way. All right, and here's why. What's he feeling? 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. So, of course, he's wanting the 6 of Cups because he's feeling the 5 of Cups, right? Emotional disappointment and abandoned, most likely. This is Eros and Psyche, where Psyche drips some hot oil on him, not in the fun way, because she's trying to see who he is. She's never seen him. They're already married. It's a long story. It's a very, very tricky marriage story. That's what happens when you marry a god, right? So she breaks the compact that he's never allowed to see him, which I just think is a raw deal to begin with, but there's gods for you. And then he takes off. She's like, oh my God, but I love him. He's beautiful. And womp womp, right? So whether he is the runner or the runaway or the chaser here, feeling that emotional disturbance and that pain. So what is Spirit's POV on this? Call it 6 of Swords. Spirit saying not just move on, but move from troubled waters, the 5, into calmer waters, the 6. So we've got 2 6s in this spread, a 4 and a 5. So we've got a 4, 5, 6, and the star. That's pretty fucking awesome. So really, for the divine masculine here, we are looking at a predominance of air, no question. Well, no, 2. So we've got 2 swords here. We've got the 4 and the 6, and that balances with the cups, the 5 and the 6. So it does create certainly a numeric progression of 4 through a 5 into 2 6s, and that would be the 2 6s would indicate mental, emotional balance. And he wants it. So this is good. So talk about a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise dealio here. He's working. Well, she's got like the wealthy with that 10 of Pentacles thing going and that victory. She definitely got that. He's working on that healthy, right? So we've got like wealthy, healthy, bring it together, and wise and happy. Cool. Now, those are the major cards out that we're doing. Everything else is Oracle. We've only got 2 more decks. We're going to do Whispers of Love, because how could we not? It's a soulmate read. How could we not do that? asking the higher selves of all involved. So if you'll please have a nice big lung bucket breath with me. Like clearing the slate of my third eye, my heart, all my chakras tingly for you, higher selves of all involved. One card in clarity for this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, soulmate, lover reading. December-ish 2019, but timeless. A card, a whisper of love for the divine feminine here. Oh, face down, and one for the divine masculine here while we're at it. Oh, I like that. That saves time. They're so good to me. You know some of my guides are Virgos, or were. For the divine feminine, and remember we got this monk nun here. I'm going to summate. I'll make a summation at the end, pop up a picture. Receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. So particularly that can point to practices of gratitude. Don't overdo it, but that thing of, you know what, I truly am feeling gratitude, or I wish I were feeling gratitude for. Go watch the one I did for Thanksgiving, the video I did. That tip on that one has been so helpful. I do it every day. If I'm not really feeling gratitude for something like receiving something, I take a breath. I go, well, okay, but I really wish I were. I really wish I did feel more gratitude for this. And in the desire for gratitude, the spark of gratitude begins. You just keep breathing it, right? So, I mean, I'm going to go a little scriptural here, but give thanks as though you've already received, because it's the monk nun. So spiritual practice is not unknown to you. Giving thanks for what you have, probably more and more and more a stable, steady thing in your life. But really the point is don't beat yourself up, because there are things that you don't feel grateful for, and that gets to have a voice too. So I'm thankful for the child in me that thinks that the path sucks. This fucking sucks. It's not getting what it wants when it wants it, right? Child archetype there. Do that for you. That to receive, right? And anything that goes down, just receive it. You don't have to like it in the moment, but you can receive it with love and appreciation and say thank you, because everything that's happening to us, people want to talk about fifth dimensional, anchoring the light, unity consciousness, and all this stuff, then it really is getting that this is a hologram and that everything that's happening is happening for us, right? It's all here to help. We don't have to understand it. We don't have to like it. It helps if we can agree to say, okay, willing, let's see, how is this supposed to help me? Not that you'll always understand it here, but in hindsight, you usually do, right? So how you want to play along. For the divine masculine, union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. Oh, this poor kid. I just really feel, they're like, womp, 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 womp. Really, really, really just wanting that love, desiring it. But, you know, has the star, really that star card, such a card of spiritual healing for the divine masculine here. This kid is wishing on a star. I hope he gets what he wants, that divine masculine. What a sweetheart that feels like. So if you're the divine masculine here, I get it, but you got to accept on some level that your own sense of abandon, of not fitting in, it sucks. Like I said, I have the orphan archetype. The inner child work is everything, because chances are you're not a little kid watching this video if you're identifying with the divine masculine here. It really is about letting that kid have its voice, and I cannot recommend enough inner child work, whether you want to go back to John Bradshaw's Homecoming, that's like the 80s, I think. Even Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. Some Hay House authors do it brilliantly, but particularly Matt KAHN, spiritual teacher, Hay House author, I recommend him a lot because he's got some POV, some point of view on it that's quite revolutionary, and I think streamlines the process, makes it a little less dogmatic, and more authentic in terms of its emotional freedom and healing. I tried it. It works. I more than tried it. One more card and we're done. Journey of Love. You knew I was gonna. You knew I was gonna end with the Journey of Love Oracle, and yes, I'm gonna read it from the book, because these are awesome sauce. And then I'll pop up the picture. Cool, cool. Yeah, I don't care how long these are to you. They're fun. That's why you have watch later. Watch later. Here we go. We started with the collective pantheons. We end with the collective pantheons. Breathe. Oh, my collective pantheons of angels, gods, goddesses, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. One journey of love card to bring into summation, to clarify and simplify this Piscean collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, soulmate contract. One card, please, to clarify for these Pisceans. This one or this one? This one or this one? This one? This one? This one. Okay. Pendulum, internal pendulum swing. Here we go. What you get there. Within nothing, there is everything. Card number 2. Don't have to look very far to look it up in the book. Very pretty card. Within nothing, there is everything. Little paradox explosive in there. It's implosive, I should say. That was the sound of my brain hemispheres imploding. And not very much, of course. Within nothing, there is everything. From a point of stillness, a moment, a complete universe is opening up to you, endlessly expanding. Your every thought and intention sends ripples of consciousness through the universe. What a creative being you are. You are sending consciousness into motion, bringing your creation into being with every inner desire, with every whispered wish. The universe receives your yearning and aspirations with open arms, returning them to you as manifestation in your life. What is it really in your heart? What is really in your heart? Open your arms, sigh, speak your heart truth aloud to the loving universe and receive it as your destiny manifesting now. Fine Masculine has the star in the earth position, the divine feminine, the witch, the magician. This oracle brings a message to you. Something that you want is on its way to you. It may seem to be coming out of nowhere, no sign on the horizon to give you hope, yet it is coming to you anyway. It is spiritual law that you cannot be denied the manifestation of your heart's desire. Trust and remain open to the tide of universal love rushing towards you, swelling within you now. And a very short poem. Breathe. The wind moves gently through trees. Quiet water flows. Life's song calls softly. I'm okay with that. Let's do our overview, shall we? Magic clap. We start with the divine feminine, with the monk nun archetype, the shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world and excessive piety. The light attribute, what we're shooting for here, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Definitely indicating what is a divine family archetype, that there is certainly a spiritual devotional aspect here to be sought. Her element of earth, she does have the Virgo card there, one of healing, one of practicality, one of occupation, that to be occupied with devotion to spirit, devotion to the spiritual path, devotion to love, devotion to another, but all coming from a place of the divine within is what she wants. What she has is the power of the witch, the magician, the ability to channel that energy through, even just being a blessing. May he be blessed, may I be blessed, may we be blessed, may all be blessed with the love they truly seek. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, loving, intimate, sexual, romantic partnerships for the well-being of all. And may it begin with me, right? What's on her mind? The Ten of Pentacles about this. She really is visualizing the fullness, the health, the wealth of this, and as a result has got her emotions, her element of water, galloping with that victory card, the Seven of Flames, with the overall, the card of spirit there with the Two of Flames, really saying that this is just the first couple of steps of this, but that momentum is building, and that energy is going to have to be juggled and balanced. Just so to keep moving forward, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Here for the divine masculine, we've got the orphan child with the shadow attribute, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. So might be someone acting childish, seeking inappropriate surrogate families, which we know what those are. Those are gangs, those are cliques, those are people that aren't necessarily healthy, a toxic network, a toxic tribe. But the light that he's shooting for, independence, based on learning to go it alone, conquering the fear of surviving, that he can live through everything, because we all live through everything. The soul is immortal and eternal. What does he want? With that Six of Cups, that warm, emotional harmony, that balance, equal give and take, maybe perhaps the way things were, or perhaps the way things never were, but nonetheless very much wanting that in the heart space. What he has is the star. He does have guidance, he does have grace, that truly heartfelt desire, like it said in the Journey of Love card. It's like nothing can stop the manifestation of your heart's desire, but we're not in control of when it happens. So what can we do? We can hold our hope, the grace of hope in the star, right? The guidance and grace that somehow this is all part of the divine plan, and that our heart's desires, what's written upon our hearts by the gods and the angels themselves, come to manifest. They know it better than we do. Well, what's on this divine masculine's mind? Well, the Four of Swords, definitely focused, most likely focused inward, most likely trying to find a place of stillness and space, considering in the emotional field we have the Five of Cups, emotional upset and transformation, perhaps something revealed that was painful from without or from within, that nonetheless kicked over four of those cups, leaving only one remaining. But with the overview from Spirit, with that Six of Swords, that really moving from very choppy, turbulent waters into something more soothing and satisfying, that's the journey, the point of view from Spirit. For the divine feminine, her higher self, or the higher selves, are saying, receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. So a way for her to be both receptive, the divine feminine, and giving, a way of showing, of out-picturing love and appreciation, which does make sense. Feels so full, feels so good, feels so wonderful here, then to give of some of that appreciation through receiving. And here for as well, they also just said, I just heard them say, as well as the vision, as well as the inspiration, as well as the guidance. Because here with this divine masculine here, the union of hearts, there is a connection here that defies explanation. Might be so hard for the child to believe and have faith there. So if you're the divine masculine here, just know that there is a connection here that's not supposed to make sense. It's not supposed to be logically understandable. It is something of the soul, and though the soul can heal the mind cannot heal the soul. Just how that one rolls on that one. And what is our overall archetype here of where this soulmate relationship, this soulmate contract is on the journey of love? Within nothing there is everything. That though it may not be seen below the surface, there is a great deal going on, and this relationship is in motion, and both of them are feeling it, and both of them are wanting it. It is really just a question of what to do in the meantime. For the monk nun, we're looking at devotion. For the orphan child, we are looking about survival and loving the self, loving that child, and moving forward on your paths individually, but you will find yourselves walking parallel paths in the same direction. And that's what I see for you, my Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. I wish you very, very well for the remainder of the month. Remember, this is December-ish, timeless. Whenever you're meant to see this, you see this. But certainly I am kind of thrilled to be a Pisces moon, because I can identify with that monk nun like that. An orphan child comes to me, needs to learn how to love his heart. Honey, that's what I do all day long. That is my path. Love Revolution. Go check out Matt KAHN. Trust me. Trust me, darling. Really a pleasure reading for you all. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the holiday season and the rest of 2019. But I'll be back to do the twin flame reads after this one. God help me. Go check your other signs. But for now, as ever, my sweethearts, my myrrh family, myrrh, like frankincense and myrrh family. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.